News Team. And now introducing your host, Randy Tobler.
The parts of USAID that were found to be even slightly useful were transferred to the State Department. So they've not been deleted. They've simply been transferred to the State Department. But many times over with USAID and other organizations, when they've said, oh, well, this is going to help, children, or it's going to help some disease eradication or something like that. And then when we ask for any evidence whatsoever, I say, well, please connect us with this group of children so we can talk to them and understand more about their issue. We get nothing. They don't even try to prevent show. I come up with a show orphan, meaning like this sort of like, well, can we at least see a few kids? Like, where are they? If they're in trouble, we'd like to talk to them and talk to their caregivers. Okay, and then we get nothing.
Well, that was an Elon Musk Back to the Future resurfacing of a video in the light of what is an exploding over 100 million views of the various videos of Nick Shirley, intrepid citizen reporter, exposing first in Minnesota, now in Ohio, then, and these are other reporters, Massachusetts, Washington State. This was about USAID and the constant theme of abuse, fraud, waste, corruption in government-funded programs. Will that be the theme in 2026? Will there be a taxpayer revolt that says, enough, I'm tired of working my arse off, sending money to D.C., to Minneapolis, to wherever, and having it go to these kind of corrupt and fraudulent issues? What will be your 2026 issue as we wind up on this New Year's Eve edition of Wake Up Missouri? I'm Randy Tobler. In a little bit later, Peter Thiel will be in for Stephanie. John Marsh in, intrepid, longtime Jefferson City reporter he is, and a wonderful member of our crew here. And, of course, Drake Whitman. We are Wake Up Missouri. Glad you're with us on this final show of the year. We'll want to know a number of things from you. Oh, go ahead, Drake. Yes.
If I had my mic up,
you should turn your mic on. It's always a good idea.
I don't want to hear it from you. It's Brian Hauswirth or whoever guest comes in.
Yes.
They walk in, and it's like you can hear them echo like they're in the other room because you don't turn their mic on. I don't want to hear it from you.
I'm never going to hear you. Never going to hear you.
Stuff like that has management has looked at the ratings. They came out yesterday, and I'm sorry to say, but we will be off the air until next year. We're taking a little break. But Wake Up Missouri.
You knew it was coming, folks.
It's over for the rest of the year, guys. I'm sorry.
It is.
We really tried our best.
Can we leave now? We have to finish the show.
We got to finish the show.
Oh, but then we're off, and then we don't get reinstated until next year.
We can't let the listeners dip their toes and then leave.
Which will be the second. We will be here on Friday for a Feel Good Friday show.
It's going to be great.
You're going to be here, right, Drake?
Am I going to be here?
Are you going to make it after you recover from the quarterfinals that start tonight and then 3 games tomorrow? We're going to cover that and really get into it for you college football playoff fans at 7:08. But we're going to be wanting to know from you, standard questions, what movies to watch, because I'm going to actually have some movie watching time. Helene says we're going to sit down and watch some movies, whether it be at the theater or whether it be at home. So I understand Wicked 2 is going to be available on, is it Amazon Prime or Netflix or somewhere, streaming now. So I want to see that. And instead of asking what resolutions are you going to make for next year, I'm going to ask John and Drake and later Peter when he joins us, and you in Wake Up Family, 573-874-9390 and 1-800-529-5572 if you want to call in and let us know. What will be the resolution that'll be the first one that you break? Because we all make these. Think about it that way, right? It's not a matter of if, it's when. Yeah. It's which will be the first one you break, and maybe even more than that. How soon will you break it? Right? Is it that commitment to go to the gym 5 days a week? What will be the first week you only make it 4, or not to the gym, but just that 30-minute a day workout?
I have to go to my standard fallback. The one I probably won't accomplish is drinking more decaf coffee in the new year.
Yeah, is that a perennial one for you? And it doesn't last very long?
No, it doesn't last through January 1st, usually.
I don't know. I'm thinking that resolutions should be sort of like flowers for your wife, rather than you should just start these changes at random times during the year. It always means more. If you just bring home a bouquet of flowers on, April 10th, random day. Why'd you bring me flowers? Well, it's not Valentine's Day. Oh, it's just because I love you, because I'm bringing home flowers, right? So do it the same with resolutions. You just decide to make a change. And rather than, because everyone does that now this time of year. Gyms get packed. There's waiting lines for the treadmills.
That's the reason for New Year's resolutions. So like Hallmark cards,
Mm-hmm.
they have cards for everything under the sun. The same deal with resolutions, because like you said, it's good for the gym business or whatever.
But I'm telling you, this I think this may be. I'm seeing some things percolating through my private text line about. I haven't seen it. I've got to go and find that again. But there was this X post that was then transmitted to my text line. I'm not going to tell you on which group thread this was, but saying the tax revolt is gaining traction. Tax strike rally at all state capitals, inspired in Nick Shirley's expose. Stand up, speak out, demand accountability. Saturday, January 3rd at noon. We want our money back. Now that's a rally I would attend. Enough waste, enough corruption, enough lies. MTG, Theo Von, and other right-wing figureheads and influencers are calling for it, apparently. Wow. Would you attend a I would attend a taxpayer revolt. I think people have had it. I think people look at this and they say, we know this is going on here. How many other government-funded schemes do you know of personally where there are bloated bureaucracies? I, for one, just don't understand why you want to pay your money to some government politician who votes a statute in that forms a committee to administer this subsidy for this group of your fellow citizens because it feels good for everyone. And then we got to have a bureaucracy to oversee it. And the bureaucracy either doesn't want to, is lazy, or has too much to oversee. And your money is being wasted. There is fraudulent abuse all around. And you just keep paying your taxes. When are you going to say enough? This is the year when I hold you, Wake Up Family, and everyone else accountable. When are you going to stop whining about it and start revolting about it? When's it going to happen? How many Nick Shirley stories, how many empty daycares, how many non-healthcare, home healthcare giving home health agencies, how many daycare centers, how many food for needy people programs are you going to finally say enough? I'd rather give to the food bank for Central and Northeast Missouri directly. Now, they may be saying, Randy, whoa, we get some government subsidy. I'm sorry. Give me more of my money, and I'll give you more of it directly. And there'll be more to go around because we won't be funding government bureaucracies.
No, that's been Governor Keogh's all on the campaign trail when he talked his top priority being in the elimination of Missouri's income tax.
Oh, and then comes this. Hot off the wires. House Minority Caucus Representative Betsy, this is a press release from yesterday. Representative Betsy Fogel, Representative Stephanie Hein, I don't know. Springfield reps, for you in Springfield, what the heck are you doing? You electing these people? They demand the governor keep the child care promise. State reps Betsy Fogel and Stephanie Hein, both from Springfield, are calling on the Keogh administration to reverse its decision to delay a new child care payment program, breaking a promise a governor made in his State of the Union state address in 2025. Over the last 2 years, Hines said, the state of Missouri has failed families by delaying child care payments, forcing many child care providers who are small business owners to close or leave the subsidy program. In his 2025 State of the State address, Governor Keogh promised Missouri child care providers, quote, starting in fiscal year 2026, we're in that year now, providers will receive payments from the state at the beginning of the month, and we will pay on enrollment just like private pay. Fiscal year began on July 1st. In a December 19th email to child care providers, Keogh announced it was breaking the governor's promise by postponing the pay in advance and authorization-based payment programs. What a novel thought that they will pay on enrollment just like private pay. I don't understand this. Why is the government paying for child care? Where is that in the Missouri Constitution that it's my obligation as a taxpayer to pay for the provision of child care for someone else's offspring? Now, how many people can Randy PO on New Year's Eve?
All of them.
I'm trying. Child care providers. How about the Chamber of Commerce? Apparently the Chamber of Commerce is up in arms. Missouri Chamber of Commerce has described the situation as a crisis. Oh, my God. Is the second coming here? Is it happening? Brian Hauswirth, is the second coming here because child care providers aren't getting paid? It's apocalyptic. Oh, no.
Well, don't forget about the farmer subsidies, Randy. There's another one.
Oh, the farmer subsidies. I don't want those either. I'm sorry, farmers. If there's a drought, a nationwide drought, and the crop is wiped out, I will pony up with a one-time tax to pay you. I know many farmers. I will give them a loan rather than go to more taxes to a government agency that has a bloated bureaucracy that the farmer has to belly up to the bar and sign a number of papers, and 25 bureaucrats decide whether they get the loan, and then they have to sign and give the crop report every day. This story is breaking. This Somali abuse thing is breaking. Not that farmers are abusing a program. Not that child care providers are abusing a program. But there are people that abuse programs. And the program itself, just whittling out unneeded bureaucracy and oversight and overhead, is a waste of your money. It's an unnecessary diversion of your charity. This should be the year when taxpayers say, we're returning to first principles, limited government. So that's my New Year's Eve soliloquy for you. Well, now we've got Gabby Picard is coming up with something from the governor. We'll talk about that at 6:35. But first, John will bring you the Daily DC Rundown in just a few.
It's Wake Up Missouri.
that it is a real problem. I've been working for many months on legislation that would step in, number one, protect the rights of student athletes to receive NIL compensation. I think that's a better outcome. I think it's more fair.
Well, that's Ted Cruz talking about NIL. Here's John Marsh with the Daily D.C. Rundown.
Yep, the Texas senator trying for years now to get more regulations around name, image, and likeness deals in college sports. He said back in 2023, in his words, the landscape was in peril. Now, Cruz says college football specifically is a disaster. He responded to a post on X which called the current college football landscape unsustainable. Independent journalist Nick Shirley and researcher David were back at the Quality Learning Center in Minneapolis yesterday in their sweatshirts, emblazoned with 1-800-FRAUD, following the release of his viral video alleging fraud at the state-funded child care facilities in Minnesota. David also told reporters he'd filed a criminal complaint against Governor Tim Walz, and they are now targeting several other states. And a court order they unsealed yesterday suggests the Trump administration push to prosecute Kilmar Abrego Garcia on smuggling charges only after he challenged his wrongful deportation to El Salvador, one Justice Department official calling it a top priority over a month after he was deported. Imagine that,
Yeah.
Boy, there's a breaking news story right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Did I see that he's doing a podcast or something? I mean, he's doing some kind of social media,
Yeah, I think he is.
surge now. Man, I tell you, that takes some serious cojones. I'm sorry.
I'm sure somebody came up to him and said, hey, you want to do this? We've got it all set up. You're ready to go, and here's what we'll pay you to do the podcast. So,
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
off to the races.
Well, later on, we're going to talk to Jeff Manasso from Fox News Radio about the DHS self-deportation exit bonus, that's been raised to $3,000, I guess, right? And I think, are they changing the deadline too? I think they're trying to really encourage more and more of this. No doubt. Stephen Miller's not been happy with the pace of that program. I think they're still under 1 million, aren't they, that they've deported?
Yeah, I think that's the number that they quoted.
But we need to see more. Got to see it. Law and order, baby. Law and order. Right?
In the new year.
Although if illegal Swedish girls came to America, Drake would not want them deported.
Well, there's a loophole. I'll just marry him like on the spot. I got a ring ready.
Have you been on that Swedish dating site again?
Yes, yeah, I have.
How's that working out?
I'm trying to learn Swedish, so I don't really know.
There's a run on Haribo, the little gummy fish. Drake's buying them all up. I don't know, Drake. It's going to be a long year. It's exciting that we are on the cusp of this big 250th anniversary of America celebration, right? It's a big birthday celebration. It'll be a lot of fun. To see the festivities that go around. I understand that after the big crystal ball drops at midnight on Times Square, apparently they're going to raise it up, and another one's going to be a red, white, and blue ball. I mean, they're going to be like a patriotic one. That's what I've heard. So that'll be fun. You going to stay up that late, John? I don't know. See.
Give her a shot.
What movies to watch? Tell me.
Has America been fair to Donald Trump? The people always know what
lot about illegal immigration, but this is a legal immigration problem. So from my perspective, under 18 U.S.C. 1343, the wire fraud statute, there ought to be prosecutions immediately. Every visa that can be revoked should be revoked. Every deportation that should happen right away. And in some cases where necessary, denaturalization should happen. A strong signal should be sent to immigrant communities that if you're going to come here and fleece the American taxpayer, we're actually going to prioritize taxpayers over this toxic empathy that's dominated the Democrat Party.
Hey, in case I haven't told you yet, there's a little problem up in Minneapolis. That's Eric Schmidt. He's worked up about it. Deport every last illegal alien. Overhaul the legal alien system. Let's denaturalize these people. Maybe starting with Ilhan Omar, who talks about she's here for Somalians, not for America. Maybe this is the year that America becomes American again. Maybe that's the theme for next year. What do you think it is on this New Year's Eve? I'm Randy Tobler. Stephanie's out for a few days, taking a little R&R. Peter will be in a little bit later. John Marsh holding forth. Drake Whitman, and in with a breaking news report that we want to bring to our local audience here in Columbia is Brian Hauswirth. Brian, welcome in. Happy New Year's Eve.
Yeah, thank you so much, Randy. Busy morning this morning. I was reporting locally on and I'm also doing the news in KWTO in Springfield as well. But in mid-Missouri, we had the horrific head-on last night, a Harrisburg woman killed. And just a few minutes ago, hopefully these aren't going to be serious injuries. We don't know, though. Boone County Joint Communications, Randy, confirming there is a collision this morning near Columbia's Conley Road and the connector. I've confirmed that with the dispatcher.
That's where it winds around there. Yeah, it goes under the bridge and connects across from Keene Street there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was right through there at 5:15, didn't see anything. So this happened, he said, about ballpark about 6:20. But you're urged to avoid the area. Our colleague Doug Groff from Zimmer Radio has been out there just moments ago, sees a vehicle on its side, multiple ambulances, Doug, reporting. Avoid the area if possible.
All right. And on another follow-up, while we were talking about this press release from the House Minority Caucus members, Fogel and Hine, about the governor not alleging he's not keeping his child care promise for payments to daycare providers, apparently Gabby Picard came up last evening with a statement about that. You want to summarize that?
Yeah, if you could hand that. And I haven't finished the story on that yet, but I wanted you to at least have the statement.
Slacker.
Every time I try to work on a program, Brian.
Now you know, folks. You probably know me by now. When I make a pejorative comment, it's only because I love someone. It's not. It's absolutely the opposite.
Exactly.
No, he's working his arse off.
Yeah, and I was trying to actually going to work on it, and then this horrific collision. Every time I work on a story like this, we have breaking news, but I'll have it for Friday or Monday. But basically what Keogh's office is telling me is this. They saw the statement, obviously, from the two Democrats you quoted. The biggest thing they're saying, he's committed to implementing prospective pay based on enrollment for child care providers, and that a change of this magnitude requires a lot of, it's huge what they're doing. They're saying DESE is in the Office of Childhood is working tirelessly, engaging with stakeholders to ensure that the payment transition is well implemented, and that he's emphasized the importance of the system working efficiently to deliver timely and accurate payments to providers
so in
across
short,
the state.
Instead of rolling it out and having all kinds of glitches, they want to make sure they have their ducks in a row and then roll it out.
And Representative Hine last night was on Channel 17. She just wants that. She feels like, again, I'm just presenting her perspective. She said, well, look, he put this out there in the State of the State last year, and he did put that out there, but they're also pointing out how the change of this magnitude as well. But that is his full statement.
Do you think I want to get a roundtable here with the Chamber of Commerce, Representative Hine, whatever, and I want to just ask him philosophically, just ideologically, where is it in your worldview or in any proper governance structure that I, as a taxpayer who am not raising children anymore and who funded my own children's, child care and education, or my wife stayed home with them when she could and worked and stayed home. Where does anyone say that there's something right about the fact that it's my obligation to somehow, through government and taxation, plunder of my income, pay for that whole system? I want to ask people that and look them in the eye and have them tell me why anyone thinks that is ideologically or philosophically justified. It may feel good, and people may want it, but as Austin Powers said, I want a gold-plated toilet, baby. You know what I mean?
I think the one thing too, and then guys, I've got to run here because I've got just a madhouse this morning. But the biggest thing, I know you're quoting Democrats, and you're right. The two Democrats that wrote that letter, both from Springfield, Betsy Fogel and Hine. And
Republicans want this too.
I think it's important to note the bill sponsor to do all this is a Republican, Brenda Shields from St. Joseph. So it is the.
Well, I know. I hold them all accountable.
And you are correct. The Missouri Chamber of Commerce is at the forefront of this. They are pushing this. So it's not just progressives. It is Republicans and.
I mean, look. You're a single guy, living in an apartment, making radio broadcaster, news reporter wages, and everyone knows this is not an industry you go into if you want to get rich.
Correct.
So, and you've got to have clothing. Could you go out and you attend these press conferences and you've got to be dressed nicely? Sure. I think we ought to have a state. I'm going to start a state fund for you and John and Mike Murphy and Don Luzader for intrepid, poorly paid journalist clothing fund, because by golly, it feels good, and you need it, by golly.
Yeah,
and I think we need to start a new division of reporter clothing for proper dress at the press conference.
Brian
where does it end? Where does it end?
Brian can relate. As we watch the debate, Brian, especially on the House side, over the whole child care thing, they debated innovation grants, they called them, and and tax credits and all too for child care. So I think there would be a natural segue there. But this is supposed to get some traction this year.
I think and the governor clearly supports it as well, but it just takes a little time to roll this out. So that is the status. And definitely in that area, Randy, avoid the area where we talked about as well. So thank you, friends.
Well, then I look at
I
this.
Appreciate your help with my wardrobe.
Well, there is a hidden subliminal message there, Brian, but that's for another discussion. You got to freshen up that blue blazer of yours. It's getting a little old. No.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Yeah. So then I want to talk about this rural bailout fund, $50 billion that are distributed among the states. Remember, we talked with Governor Keogh about the competitive rural transformation project that they applied for from the government. And apparently, I think Missouri came in pretty reasonably as far as the funding that they got. That was announced just yesterday or day before. And, not bad. Pretty reasonably. But the problem is, okay, so it's going to be like $250 million, I think, but it's allegedly not going to make up for the shortfall in the cuts in Medicaid, according to rural health care analysts. But when I look at what they're going to spend like $1 billion, $1 million. They're going to spend a lot of money on the so-called digital backbone to have community hubs to support the underlying causes of health problems in rural. I know a little bit about health problems in rural. They're the same problems as health problems in urban and suburban and everywhere else. You know what that is, Drake? And I'm as guilty as the next guy.
No, I thought the system was perfect, Randy.
No,
Obama came in and fixed it.
The underlying problems are people aren't pushing themselves away from the table soon enough. And people aren't dropping and doing 10 push-ups 5 times a day. And taking a long, brisk walk for a walking meeting at lunch. I stand guilty as accused, okay? This is not pointing a finger at I need to work out more and I need to eat better. Thank God my wife really tries to keep me on track there, right? We'd all love to eat Pop-Tarts all day, like Drake Whitman. No, but, I mean, you don't need a community, with all due respect to the governor and everywhere else, you don't need another bureaucracy, and you don't need everyone who practices medicine, whether you're a nurse practitioner, a PA, a doctor, you all know that what influences people's behavior and what ultimately influences health with chronic disease, which is what we're talking about in rural America, that's what these programs are there to it's not for the person who gets a brain tumor or a kid who has a neuroblastoma, or a congenital problem or sickle cell disease. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the chronic diseases that plague 2/3 or now 75% of the population one way or another by the time they're 50, now younger and younger. And I just worry that what should be happening is they should have programs that are connecting people with influencers that show them the data and explain them how they can change their lives, the way they feel, the way they sleep, the way they eat, the way they breathe, their mood, everything improves with a few simple maneuvers called lifestyle change. And I just don't know whether we need digital backbones and all this, with all due respect to well-meaning people at the governor's office and everyone else.
Well, what was the dollar amount? It was like $250 million for that rural,
$250 million,
Transformation Act monies and all. And it's still, and we've seen the challenges, not just in the Springfield area, but in mid-Missouri with the Fulton Hospital, Mexico, Missouri Hospital, literally having to shutter their doors and going away, and it's hard to address those chronic issues for folks when they have to drive a couple hours to MU Healthcare.
I've been an administrator, and I've been a doctor working under my own administration and under other people's administration, and most doctors now and other people are employed. And I can tell you, you're constantly plagued by administration for all the right reasons. Make sure your coding's right. Get that coding right. Gotta get the coding right because the bill has to be clean. So we get paid right. We gotta get paid. Instead of take really good care of the patient and keep them well. Spend time with that patient. Give him your cell phone so that you can have a discussion. Well, here, we'll give you a text line and you can text him. I'm telling you, the fundamentals of healthcare are being ignored while digital backbones and community hubs and everything. Just take away the regulation and let people spend some time with people that know a little bit about this. It's not that complicated. It's another example of answering a problem, looking for a solution and providing a solution for a problem that is more easily solved. It's not that complex. But anyway, I'm glad they got the money. We read the story in the Missouri Independent here last night. I read this. Yeah, $216 million in federal funding this year, and it's going to be for, 5 years? This was the 9th largest award to any state. But they quoted the administrator at the Sedalia Hospital. They need to put a roof on. Lori Whiteman, CEO of Bothwell in Sedalia. Every time it rains, we get a certain leak in our OR and have to shut down 2 rooms. So apparently this might pay for a new roof. She says it's not the sexiest, but it's absolutely needed. So yes, this will help. But it's like putting a Band-Aid on a festering abscess when you need some antibiotics. Those of you in the medical industry, you know what the antibiotics are. I know what they are. I'm not sure that bureaucrats know what they are. Make Missouri healthy again. Hey, do you know what might be some pleasurable habit that's good for you? We'll talk about it in a minute.
It's Wake Up Missouri.
Well, I just, since we're here on New Year's Eve, I'm going to urge you to just be mindful of what you're drinking and eating throughout the year so that you age wonderfully, like John Marsh. John may be chronologically, a year or two over 50, but biologically, 30, 35, 40, because John drinks coffee. We talked about it earlier. John likes coffee. Study published this month in the journal Aging found that people with higher blood levels of an alkaloid called theobromine found in high levels in dark chocolate. Oh, yeah, baby. And coffee and tea, smaller amounts, actually resulted in molecular biomarkers that seem to at least slow down those epigenetic clocks, the clocks that really we look at, biomarkers on our genes that tell us about aging. So now this was an association, but I think it's fairly well established that there are components in coffee, a lot of components in tea. Green tea is very, very healthy. It has something called ECGC, which is excellent antioxidant. So as you're going through your year this year, just I'd like you to think about the healthier habits. Yeah, you can still have your indulgences. You can have a Pop-Tart now and then. That's fine, Drake. But eat your broccoli. Eat your fermented foods like some yogurt, some kefir, some kimchi, and if it's beautiful and colorful and panoramic and full of sulforaphanes like you find in broccoli and bok choy and things like that, kale.
That's the compound that makes them smell stinky when you microwave them, right?
Yeah, but especially for women, it helps the metabolism of estrogen to less potent estrogens that may reduce the risk of things like breast cancer and uterine cancer. You see, it's just an urge this coming year, not to have as a resolution, but maybe just a mind revolution as you go through the buffet line, as you're planning a meal, as you're buying a pre-prepared meal. Just think about making sure there's some colorful delectables on your plate. That would not be white. Generally, white stuff, starchy stuff, is not full of these kind of anti-aging chemicals. Speaking of anti-aging, Peter Thiel is walking in. And though we call him Father Time here chronologically at the station, he's a young man because of his healthy lifestyle. Right. Peter? Right?
Hi, absolutely. I'm one of the healthiest human beings who's ever walked the planet.
Well, you're always rocking the coffee over there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm rocking down some coffee. I got the Caldies going, and it's delicious.
No, but I think, and for many of you, if you're in your 30s, your 40s, your early 50s, you may be thinking, what do I worry about? I'm not old. You know what? The genesis of a lot of the problems that plague people when they're 60, 65, 70 and older really started in their 40s. It's clear now. And if you could just start to develop those habits, I don't expect you to be, eat seaweed and salmon all day. That's not the point. But just start to be mindful this year. Yeah, it is pretty good, actually. That seaweed salads are pretty good. Just try to be mindful this year. That is my urging for you on this Make Missouri Healthy Again, this day, this New Year's Eve, and all throughout 2026. Coming up in just a few short minutes, Peter Thiel joins us for what I'm calling Peter's Rockin' New Year's Eve 2025. And we'll do some football playoff analysis coming up.
Hey, is this a child care center?
Why are you recording?
I'm asking a question. Is this a child care center?
Why are you recording?
Is this a child care center?
No.
It's not.
Stop recording.
It's not our child. Why can't I record?
Stop recording. You're resisting. Why are you recording?
Because I'm curious if this is a child care center.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ohio.
No. Who's into you?
Me. I'm an independent person. I own my own company.
So you are a YouTuber, so you need the social media.
I mean, I represent myself.
We have just reported you to the police, okay?
Okay, that's fine. I'm not breaking any laws.
You are resisting.
I'm not.
Huh?
I'm just asking, is this a child care center?
I know who you are.
Okay, is this a child care center?
You are a terrorist.
You're a terrorist. This was not Minneapolis. This was Columbus, Ohio.
Yes.
Another intrepid citizen journalist who is waiting to see children
at the Somali event. Yes.
And it's happening everywhere. This is at the Benati Child Care 2 of Columbus at 5 p.m. in the evening. And Thomas Hearn is sitting in his car, and up comes this guy photographing him saying, "You're a terrorist. You're resisting." Yes, I'm just wanting to know where are the children. It is widespread. Peter Thiel in for Stephanie Bell. Happy New Year's Eve to you.
Yeah, happy New Year's Eve. What a great year 2025 was.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the best years ever.
Busy year.
And I can't wait for 2026. Talk about a good time.
Are you going to be part of the taxpayer revolt at noon in the capitals across America? MTG and Theo Vaughn. A lot of people are calling for that in light of this abuse of your tax money. I mean, look, as we get our...
I would love to, but I'm going to be filling in for Gary Nolan on these great radio stations from 9 to noon today.
Well, it's this Saturday, though. That's when the taxpayer...
Oh, Saturday?
Yeah, the 3rd.
Oh, yeah, I have nothing going on.
Okay.
Me and my dog.
There's one, and I would invite Drake to join us for the taxpayer revolt on Saturday, except I'm sort of resentful. I don't know that he's part of our bro club anymore. He just won't share his Pop-Tarts. He's got a whole box of them
Oh,
in
my
there.
God, yeah. And talk about awful.
John, has he offered you a Pop-Tart?
He has not.
A whole box of them sitting in there.
Yeah. Now, Drake, what flavor Pop-Tarts do you have?
All right, so I got 4 around me. One is in my car. I got the protein Pop-Tarts with 10 grams of protein.
Wow, that's a good load.
And it's brown cinnamon. I got chocolate fudge s'mores, and I got cookies and cream in my car. Which one do you want, Randy?
Oh, now after I embarrass you on the radio,
you know what?
now you
could you? Which flavor do you want? And I'll split one with you because they come in 2 in a pack.
Yeah.
And Drake can run out and toast them for us.
I will just take half of one Pop-Tart. I'd like to try the protein cinnamon sugar. Okay.
You got it, boss.
No.
Oh, man. And you have to eat the whole thing. You have to eat the whole thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know why?
Eat the whole thing.
It's got 10 grams of protein. You don't want to miss out on that.
But it's New Year's Eve. And
you got to toast them. Yeah, toast them. We want service, Drake.
This is part of your indoctrination. Call this the radio hazing of Drake Whitman.
That's right.
I said
the green
toast.
room is for.
So
10 grams of protein, though. I mean, if you're going to save some of your calories and stuff for New Year's Eve, a lot of people have a big spread on New Year's Eve, right? To get out the chafing dishes, all of the hors d'oeuvres.
Oh yeah, we get
fondue.
the chafing dishes out. Yeah, Randy.
Don't you get your chafing dishes
No,
out?
no, I don't.
Oh, Helene does the whole thing. Oh yeah.
It's I'm a straight man who lives alone. There's no chafing dishes.
Do you like? How about the fondue? You do the fondue, the Swiss cheese fondue. You can buy it prepackaged now. You just throw it in the little crock pot thing, you know.
This is not the 1970s. People don't fondue anymore.
Oh God.
This is Randy's Swiss ancestry that we give him a break.
Now, when we went to Switzerland last year, for those of you who went with me and Scotty and my wife to Switzerland, and Carla, our manager, was on the trip as well, general manager. It was a fabulous trip, but for the preview to show how the trip was going to be, I brought fondue, and the trip was signed up that night. Because people realized fondue, Switzerland, and Tobler all go together. It was a fabulous trip. So don't make fun of my fondue. It's the melting pot, you know. It's a melting pot metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah, currently. Currently, we're
except for Somalians.
not allowed.
Good point. Unless you're in Columbus.
So I don't know. I look. I think this is really lighting a spark in Americans. Americans are saying, "Wait a minute! I'm working hard for my money, and I'm paying my taxes. I'm getting ready to get out my shoebox of receipts, take them to my accountant, file my 1040, and pay my taxes. And what the heck? What's going on here? This money is being now. You've heard, Peter, about it being diverted overseas, allegedly, right?
Yes.
There's people at TSA saying that there are Somalians that are going through outgoing.
Yes.
With buckets of cash.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to travel with more than $10,000. So I always make sure I have $9,999 on me. No more than that. When I get on the road and do the cash money thing, that's how I roll.
World traveler Peter only travels with $9,999. It's a skimpy trip you must have.
Well, you have to fill out customs. They said you have over $10,000 on you.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't. And you go on from there of the cash money.
So
that's the best idea. That way you can leave the rest of the money to the kids in the child care centers.
Yes.
We do need to talk a little bit about the football playoffs because the quarterfinals start tonight, right?
Yes.
And then 3 games tomorrow. So let's break it down a little bit. Drake, tonight, who plays?
Miami, Ohio State.
Okay.
The Buckeyes.
And will they be having a field trip for Ohio State from the Somalian Daycare Center to go attend that game?
I believe so, yes. Actually, it's not actual fraud. I did some background research. Yeah. The guy just went when there was an Ohio State game, and all the kids were at the game.
They took him on a field trip to the game. That's where they were.
Yeah.
That's the problem. There's no fraud here.
No.
They were educating them about American culture. They are assimilating. There you go. Well, I'm sorry. We had it all wrong. Okay, Drake, is this the Orange Bowl then tonight?
Cotton Bowl.
It's a Cotton Bowl. So
okay.
This bowl means a lot to me. I say how the Pop-Tart Bowl is my favorite.
You say that about every game.
No, so this is the one bowl game I attended with Marching Mizzou, the Cotton Bowl, whenever Mizzou went in 2023.
Yeah.
And it just breaks my heart that I'm going to see some of the most boring football I will ever watch. Ohio State, I don't think they're going to turn the Jets on against Miami. They're not going to they're going to score 14 points and then not anything else because their defense is so good that they don't need to.
I will say this: Miami, Ohio State. If you want to watch some smash mouth defensive football, and Drake's right. There's not going to be a lot of points on this thing.
Serious rock'em sock'em football.
Yeah. Okay. Now, will there be 14 or less points? No, this is probably like a 28-21. But we're going to see a lot of smacking around. The betting line, by the way, I believe on this, Drake, is 9 points, which is very ridiculous for this level of playoff game.
Will the K-pop Demon Hunters be at halftime?
Probably not. I think they bring their own bands, Randy. I don't know.
Oh, they don't do that
far removed from college.
I don't know. Okay.
And it's I thought the K-pop Demon Hunters were spending New Year's at the Tobler household.
Oh, we may. That's my new favorite group, along with Snoop Dogg and a 27-piece orchestra. Now, okay, so are we going to make a call here? Miami or Ohio State?
I'll take
State.
Miami.
State, yeah.
You're going to take Miami?
Yep.
All right.
Whoa.
Okay, wait.
Ohio
wait a minute.
State.
Okay, for Friday, I'm tallying this.
Yeah.
As you should.
So Peter says, you say Ohio State.
No, I'm saying Miami. Everybody else taking Ohio State. And I'm going to take the U.
Okay, and we have John and Drake are taking Ohio State. Okay, so what's tomorrow? First game tomorrow.
First game tomorrow is going to be Oregon and Texas Tech.
What bowl?
Orange Bowl.
The Orange Bowl, yeah, which normally was a night bowl, but now in the new world, it's a daytime.
Okay, break it down.
Do you want me to start dancing or?
I didn't say break dancing.
Break it down.
Texas Tech's had a heck of a year. Patrick Mahomes' alma mater. Boy, oh boy. Were they ranked 3rd or 4th in the nation?
They're 4th in the nation. Texas Tech is their defense is one of the best in the country. It's up there with Ohio State. The thing is that both of these teams, their offense works off of explosive plays, but their defense stops explosive plays. That's kind of the point of both of these teams. So I don't really know what to expect from this game. So I think Oregon wins.
By the way, this is either going to be like a 10-7 or it's going to be like a 32-25 game or something like that.
Okay. Place your lots.
I will take Oregon.
Okay.
Go Ducks.
Okay. You're a Duck guy. Okay.
Ducks.
John?
Ducks.
What are you taking, Randy?
Drake?
He's Ducks.
Yeah, I'm Ducks.
Okay. No one for Texas Tech. Okay. I'm taking the Southern Illinois Salukis. Okay, next. What do we have?
Bama and Indiana, the Hoosiers.
Alabama. And
Hoosiers
what bowl?
have had a
Is this the Rose Bowl?
Yes, this is the Rose Bowl, yes. A great tradition.
Alabama versus Indiana. Oh, I know who I'm taking. The only guy I'm taking on this. I want Indiana because Mendoza's the man.
So there you go. Drake?
Give me Alabama. Roll Tide.
Okay. But Indiana's ranked number 1, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean Alabama, they're one of the best passing offenses. Holy moly. Their defense doesn't get enough credit, and
John?
Got to go with Indiana.
Okay.
And I agree, Indiana. Go Hoosiers.
Okay, so Drake's the outlier there. Say Bama?
Yep, I say Bama.
Okay. All right. And then the last game.
Sugar Bowl.
Okay.
Ole Miss versus Georgia.
Nice classic Southeastern Conference kind of matchup.
We had a transfer from Georgia, right? And Georgia's suing them.
And our
he's
running back,
countersuing.
our running back from last year went to Ole Miss.
Oh, really?
Yep. So I in this game I will take Georgia. Go Dogs.
Okay. John?
I'm going to go with Ole Miss on this one.
Ooh, wow. Drake?
Give me the Dogs every day. I don't see a chance. Ole Miss doesn't have their coach, the Lane Kiffin thing.
Yeah, no kidding.
I want Georgia because they're suing the guy that left them for the NIL. They want their money back.
I thought you hate lawyers or something.
I'm going for them.
Except for Stephanie. He likes Stephanie.
I like Stephanie.
Yeah, all other lawyers, yeah. It's all Randy complains about.
I'm on record, for the record, I'm on record as saying that I think we have too much litigation in this country, and there's too much potential for it because we have too much regulation and too much legislation.
Well, it's because of that darn NIL, and there wouldn't be so much.
I got some more NIL stuff. To play for you guys after the break. All right, so everyone's placed their bets. No, we're not betting here on air. Oh, my God, I don't want the FCC to shut us down. Not doing that. But everyone is placing their markers. Okay. Let us know, 573-874-9390. What's your pick on your favorite game? We'll be back and talk about some more NIL talk among coaches after this.
It's Wake Up Missouri.
careful what you wish for. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to try to be measured with some of the things I say, just because I think this stuff always gets to be put back on you and all that stuff. But, I think back to the question talked about growth. And very rarely is growth just like this. And very rarely in life, whether it's the story of bamboo, who the bamboo grows very little for 6 years and then 6 weeks will sprout 6 feet. Whether you're talking about my father-in-law who's a farmer, and you don't plant seed and it grows the next day. You got to go through a spring, you got to go through rain, you got to go through mud, you got to go through heat, and then something great comes and bursts through the ground for that. I think we're such a instant gratification era, including myself. I'm not putting this on anybody. It's the entire world we live in, that we're trying to skip the step of adversity.
That's Eli Drinkwitz talking about NIL, about instant gratification, about team skipping and transfer portaling. And, he went on to sum it up this way.
Sometimes you just got to keep growing, and sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And
some wise words, I think, from Drink. And, I mean, in a way, I do have some compassion for these coaches where they're dealing with a situation where there's tremendous pressure to produce these bowl and championship contenders that we just talked about last segment, Peter, and for Stephanie and Drake and John. And they keep urging some change, some sanity to come to this whole system because they can't keep a coherence of a team.
Well, there's also the other problem is that if you look at how college football worked 10 years ago, before the transfer portal kicked in 10, 15 years ago. So you're a kid, you decide you want to go to Kansas, and you show up.
Kansas.
Well, you find out you're there 6 weeks, and you go, I hate this state.
Yeah.
I hate Kansas. The Jayhawks are the worst things ever.
Yeah.
Well, if you wanted to transfer out, you had to take a year off of playing. So you, if you didn't like the situation, if you felt you were deceived by the coach at Kansas, and you wanted to come to Mizzou, you had to sit out 1 year before playing. Essentially, you were an indentured servant to the university that you committed to when you were 17 years old.
I see your point when you weren't getting paid big bucks to be that servant, but you're no longer a servant if you're getting paid exorbitant money.
Not all these guys are making a ton of money. Now, some of them are. And
then they don't want to transfer because no one wants to pay them more money. I mean, that's the whole point.
Money's honey. Is money makes the world go around.
Virtue makes the world go round.
Man, we have Pop-Tarts here.
Oh, we do, baby. Look at that. May we indulge?
Yeah,
We're gonna do that, and then come back and talk a little bit more about this.
Oh, healthy.
573-874-9390. What are your thoughts about this whole NIL transfer portal?
I think just local news is
Welcome back into Wake Up Missouri. We're going to be talking with Jeff Manasso from Fox News about the DHS self-deportation bonus that they're paying and an extension of that at 8 o'clock. Peter Thiel's in this morning on our New Year's Eve, rockin' Peter Thiel New Year's Eve show, we're calling it.
Lots of craziness. I have lots of craziness to bring
Dick
up,
Clark,
of course.
didn't you? Yeah.
It's, who is he? Explain that to me, Randy.
Peter's in for Stephanie, John Marsh, and Drake, and we've made our picks for the bowl.
All the bowl games, college football championships.
They're bowls and championship quarterfinals. And then they stretch this thing out until when? Was it the 19th or the 17th?
March, I think.
Yeah. It's like the hockey It's like the hockey season. The ice is melting. It's in August, and they're still playing for the Stanley Cup, you know. But I think it's mid-January, isn't it?
Yeah, it's around mid-January.
And 5th, 12th, 19th, I believe. 19th, Monday the 19th. So, and we've been talking about this NIL and portal transfer. This thing, according to the coaches, has gotten out of hand, both on the football and the basketball side. I think, could that be because the coaches are making so much money, they're feeling the pressure to perform, and they don't have as much control over their team as they need to perform to the level that justifies their salary?
Exactly. And the other problem that goes in is that not only is the football coach like Drinkwitz, but any college-level coach, not only are they recruiting up-and-coming players, they're looking for transfer players, but they're also trying to keep their current players happy. It is, multidimensional.
You're right. It is. And it's funny. They have to participate by these rules. They want the rule changed. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of cities competing for industry by giving tax credits. It's like everyone knows that if all at once every city leader and council would decide not to buy businesses,
correct,
it would be a different playing field and a level playing field on a different level.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. So everyone continues to buy businesses. Stadiums go from Missouri to Kansas to L.A. to whatever. They move it all around, right?
Yeah. And again, the idea here about anything like this is money makes the world go round.
Yep.
Whatever the market bears is what the market bears. Now, I can sit there and say what a terrible thing that is. Eat your Pop-Tart, by the way.
Drake gave us Pop-Tarts, protein Pop-Tarts. These are good, 10 grams of protein. Thank you, Drake.
Yes, and 1 whole gram of fiber.
Yeah.
And which keep you regular.
A lot of ultra-processed RFK, anti-RFK food.
Keep eating, Randy. We want you to finish that off.
Looking at the transfer portal and then changes and how everybody always zeroed in on spring, to watch where people were going. Now that we're down to the winter-only thing, there's a lot of GMs out especially in the Southeastern Conference who said, I can't remember who it was. It might have been the guy from Georgia who said, last year we were able to get our starters all covered for like $300,000, and his thought is it could be $600,000 this year.
Wait a minute. In order to keep a starter, the going rate, the market rate was roughly $300,000?
Well, if you're a very elite program with top players in every position, just depending on the, for instance, offensive line, very, very important. Skill positions, very, very important.
Your tier one starters.
Yeah, you're a great quarterback. That's worth some money.
And is there a team cap like there is in the professional leagues?
Not really. I don't think there is. They've talked about making it. It's been widely reported, and something I believe is that Ohio State's paying $20 million a year on their roster. And so, it's, again, anyone who doesn't think that this is professional sports, they're living in a fantasy world. It's been pro sports for decades. Now,
thanks to the TV revenue.
Yeah, TV revenue, stadium. I mean, my goodness. At Mizzou, they're just finishing up this new end of the stadium. It's gorgeous. Yeah. I can't wait to be in there to see it.
Really?
Oh, it's gorgeous, yeah.
Well, you talked about quarterbacks. Look at the kid. What is he from Cincinnati? That Sorsby kid and the Levitt kid, wherever he's from, Arizona State. They're talking about them going for $3.5 million.
I think they say that Arch Manning made $6 million this year.
There you go.
Really?
Yep. And it's between NIL and he also had different sponsorships he was able to pick up.
Wow.
Now, his quarterback play has not gone in and reached the level everyone thought it would.
Well,
but Arch Manning did get that much money, and maybe he'll be very good in his senior year. I don't know. Maybe not.
You know,
if not, he can. He can go and open up. Finally, get Columbia. We'll invite him to finally give us a Whataburger. Why doesn't Columbia or Jefferson City have one? Maybe Arch Manning can bring it to us.
I never had a Whataburger.
Oh, it's awesome.
They're good. What are they? Do they resemble anything we know?
It's different. When we're in Springfield for Honor Flight, you and I are going to go get some lunch at Whataburger.
Now, is it a smash burger?
No.
No, okay.
No, but it's kind of a Texas flair. You can get it with avocado. You can get it with jalapeno.
Ever had an In-N-Out burger? That's about the closest thing to Whataburger.
Oh, those are good.
That's very, very good. Yep. And now it's, Whataburger, though, is terrific. It's everywhere in the state but Columbia and Jefferson City.
I'll be darned.
And you know who owns them? Patrick Mahomes is the co-owner.
Really?
Yes, locally in Missouri.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And probably now in Kansas.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to get any playoff bonuses. I need some of that.
I don't think we need to worry about him. I think he's doing okay.
I think he's doing all right.
So my brother-in-law, his mother, loves Patrick Mahomes.
Really?
Calls him Cutie Pie.
Cutie Pie.
And so I figured, okay, well, let me see what an autographed deal that I could get and go from there. Yeah, well, I went to one of the websites that handles and produces a sports memorabilia that's well-renowned, Steiner.
Truly authentic?
Yeah, truly authentic.
Yep.
A signed Patrick Mahomes Panini rookie card is how much money? It was on sale.
$1,000.
Drake.
I'm going to say probably 10 grand.
Okay. Marsh.
Go 2,500.
17,000.
Whoa!
Wow!
And I sent the link to my sister, and I'm going, I thought I was going to look at this. I said, this is out of my budget.
What's a signed Marshall Faulk jersey from the Super Bowl Rams?
Well, his reputation ain't what it was because it's.
I have one.
Do you?
Doesn't mean anything, huh? Yeah.
Does it have this thing of authenticity with it in the whole bit?
I have
Was it a game-worn jersey?
I have a HIPAA violation, but let's just say I know it's authentic.
Okay.
Okay, I know it's authentic.
All right.
I know someone that knows Marshall very well.
Okay.
Even though I think it's a scam, but the certificate of authenticity, it's that's how you really make money selling it. Anyone can just scribble.
So you wouldn't trust me? Is that what you're saying, Drake?
No, I'll buy it.
Do you have a trust issue?
No.
Do you have a trust issue, Drake?
I'm just saying if you're going to put it on Facebook Marketplace.
What'd you put on the Pop-Tart here? Did you drizzle something polyethylene glycol, some antifreeze on there, or what?
You know what? It's probably it'd probably be better for you to have antifreeze than that.
Yeah, Marshall Faulk, game-worn jersey and all. That's got to be several $100, I would think.
Oh, yeah, game-worn signed jersey. You probably get a little money out of it. It's
Jared asked a couple questions here, guys.
Yes.
Important. That's Peter Thiel, by the way, not Stephanie Bell, unless Stephanie's transitioned rapidly overnight. We're not
yes,
sure.
I don't think that's the case. I think we're safe there.
John Marsh, Drake Whitman, I'm Randy Tobler. It's Wake Up Missouri. Now, Jared asks, the MU football coach is the highest paid state employee, correct?
Yes.
Second question, does the NIL money come from taxes or sponsorship?
Sponsorship.
Well, yeah, sponsors.
Which is good. If it went
and Drinkwitz has openly said, and he did this before the announcing of his new deal.
Mm-hmm.
He sat there, he said, some of the S&P 500 companies in Missouri need to stand up and write some checks. And quite frankly, everyone wants Mizzou or Missouri State to get to the point where they're competitive and can be in the playoff.
Yeah.
That is the goal. That's what everyone wants. Well, you can't do it without big donors that are going to go out and their deal is. And
so he wants a pot of cash to go buy a winning team.
Correct.
That's simple.
It. And that's it. That's all necessary.
Okay. Are there enough Fortune 500 companies in Missouri that can pony up that kind of money to compete with the likes of the other states. I don't know.
There's a lot of companies that have gone and they've hired these players to be a spokesman for car dealers, for factories, for different types of stuff. I think it's there. I think the idea is having the dedication. And one of the advantages that maybe an LSU and definitely Ohio State and Michigan have, well, Mizzou has 20,000 students at the most, 15, 20,000. Ohio State has 60.
Oh.
And so you're dealing with a numbers game. There are so many more graduates of an Ohio State, a Michigan, Penn State. And not that necessarily means anything, because Minnesota has 50,000 students as well, but they've been terrible for decades in every sport.
Well, when you're called the Gophers, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it is what it is.
That's the Golden Gophers.
Oh, excuse me. So student body size matters, is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, because it's a lot of people, once they have that sheepskin on the wall saying I got a business degree or I got whatever degree from Mizzou or whichever university, they have a certain connection to it. And you've made a lot of money. You've been very successful in business. You started something, you innovated. You want to be in connection with your alma mater. And the idea of being a sponsor of it's not for everybody. There's a lot of very successful people. That's the last thing they would ever want to do. But for a lot of these folks, they go in and they buy in.
Yeah, no,
Well, you talk Fortune 500 in Missouri. Look at all the money over the years that Edward D. Jones has spent, and Centene, and some of those others. I think even O'Reilly Automotive's been pretty upfront with the money they spend on sports.
Centene's making bank on the Medicaid program, and then they whatever. So Darren says he agrees with everything Peter says.
Of course.
Don't inflate his ego, Darren. Please don't feed the beast. Don't feed the beast. Except Whataburger, it's complete trash. He says most overrated burger in the U.S.
All right, Randy, you and I, when we're in Springfield here in about 2 months,
all right,
we're gonna go do Whataburger. By the way, their onion rings, awesome, fantastic.
Paul says, I hate to poop on Drake's high-protein Pop-Tarts, but what is the source of said protein? It's a popular shiny object people are compelled to think is the key to a healthy diet.
Ground tofu.
Ground tofu. Eat more tofu. That's Peter's New Year's resolution, I understand, right? Eat more tofu? No?
Sure, why not?
Why not? All right. What's up on your docket next, John?
A penny for your thoughts. How about 80 million?
Wow, we'll talk about that when we come back on Wake Up Mo.
It's Wake Up Missouri.
this.
The last 3 1-cent pennies ever minted by the U.S. government sold at auction on December 11th for $800,000. Winning bidder also received the 3 dies that struck the coins. I've been going to coin auctions for 40 years. I've never seen anything like this, according to John Kralovich of Stack's Bowers, the gallery where the auction was held. He says the penny was introduced in 1793, and at that time could buy a biscuit or a piece of candy. U.S. Mint has produced hundreds of billions of pennies, with a 250 to 300 billion still circulating. Just last year, they made 3.2 billion pennies, marked 2024, and as high as 30 billion in some years.
What are you going to do with your pennies?
I'm going to turn them in. I have like a jar that I fill up with coins that I show up to my bank and pour it in about every year or so.
Yeah, they have a machine that counts them out.
Yeah, automatically. You don't have to roll them by yourself anymore, Randy.
I don't trust the machine. I want to roll them myself. I don't.
Because he likes to roll a penny.
Now do you put on
gloves?
gloves?
In the bad part of town.
That's the only thing I'll roll myself, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make that perfectly clear.
He buys the pre-rolled otherwise.
No.
Or the gummies.
No.
No, you don't. You don't buy pre-rolled coins,
Pure
and I
as
know
the
that.
driven snow, Peter. I don't know, John. Do I need to take this abuse here?
You
Not
roll
tomorrow.
your own coins.
You
That's
don't
fine.
have to tomorrow.
All right. Hey, we do need to talk a little bit about the movies to watch, because this is a time of year when folks are watching movies. You know.
Yes.
I want to watch the Wicked 2 movie. I understand it's out on Netflix or Prime, one of the two. Prime, maybe. So I'm going to do that. What other ones would you recommend? 573-874-9390.
I want to go see the new Avatar. I have not seen the third chapter of that, and I want to see it in the theater. That's where to go through.
It's really, I mean, even if you disagree with some of the woke themes in that series, there's really some great just production values, right? They're great. It's just wonderfully done. It's wonderfully produced.
Yeah, it's James Cameron is a leftist nut.
Yeah.
But he is an amazing movie maker.
Yep.
The Terminator, obviously, is just still an all-time classic movie.
Yep.
And that first Avatar, and the second one was very good, too. But, I mean, the idea and the imagination it took to produce it is just over the top. And, of course, Titanic.
Yes.
My former wife loved watching Titanic. Yeah. It was like in every 6 months I had to sit down with her and watch it.
You're the king of the world.
Well, you know what the payoff was for me?
What?
When Jack slipped into the water. Oh, Jack.
Yeah.
Gallows
Drowned
humor
already.
Gallows humor with Peter Thiel on New Year's Eve. Oh, my God.
Jack. Blah, 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 blah.
I think if you consulted many of the fairer sex of our Wake Up Missouri family, I bet they would put one movie at the head of their New Year's watch list, and that has to be Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, really? Oh.
I don't know. They also love Hope Floats.
Yeah, that's a classic.
That's a big one. And you're also forgetting the other one, and Randy, this is your favorite, The Notebook.
That's my wife's favorite.
Oh, yeah. Women love that.
How about When Harry Met Sally? That's another New Year's movie.
Yeah. You like that, Drake?
That's what I'm watching tonight.
And then what is Helene loves this one where the guy is a wolf and he turns into what is that one? She'll have to tell me. There's another favorite one she has. Anyway, but The Notebook's a great movie.
Oh, yeah, the women love that.
They love that.
Yeah.
So we have to struggle through that, and then maybe we can watch some football. Right? Fair game?
Football for me, baby.
Well, it is New Year's Eve. Peter Thiel is in for Stephanie Bell, John Marsh, Drake Whitman. I'm Randy Tobler. We're hanging out with you on New Year's Eve as we try to look at the year past and look at the year forward, I guess, now at this point. Who cares about the past? We got to look forward. One of the things that many administration and many of the MAGA world people are looking at is more pace and more vigorous deportation. And Kristi Noem and her DHS are doing what they can to try to help encourage people to do that. Fox News Radio, Jeff Manasso joins us now to talk about that. Jeff, Happy New Year to you, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, boys. Happy New Year to you. Good to be with you as always.
So, I think that there's been some frustration while, the deportation battles go on. And, of course, one side says ICE is over-aggressive. Other side says not aggressive enough. The self-deportation, I think that's an interesting way to encourage people, right? First it was $1,000. Now it's $3,000. What's the latest?
You see, the Department of Homeland Security tripling its self-deportation incentive to $3,000, as you just mentioned, this cash payout to those who are here illegally to voluntarily leave the United States, though DHS also pointing out that this holiday bonus or this holiday stipend is being offered for a limited time. You have until midnight to register using the former CBP One app that used under the Biden administration to bring migrants into the country. Changed over to the CBP Home app by the Trump administration to send illegal immigrants out of the country. You got to register on that app to qualify. And all civil penalties for overstaying or failing to depart are waived for participants. Free plane ticket and $3,000 in cash. Migrants with criminal records or those who are already detained in federal custody, they're not eligible. What DHS says is the purpose of this holiday bonus is to accelerate removals and to reduce taxpayer costs associated with detention and deportation as immigration action plays out across the country. It's really expensive.
Jeff Manasso's on Wake Up Missouri. Jeff, here's the other question I have, and I don't know the answer, and you may not know it either. Is how much does our government pay for services per illegal immigrant, from education to all these things? Do we have a figure of how much is being forked out every year?
Oh, I wouldn't even know where to begin to calculate. I mean, you talk about immigrants coming into this country, and we've just learned recently that 75% of Somali immigrants in Minnesota, of the 150,000 or so that are in Minneapolis, 75% of them are on government benefits. So I wouldn't even know where to start to calculate what immigrants are receiving when they get into this country. There's all this talk, months ago or years ago when Greg Abbott was sending migrants from Texas to Chicago and D.C. and New York City, and they were getting cell phones and free rent and cash and I just it's staggering the amount of money that these people are getting.
Well, I think one of the in a related question, Jeff, I guess the government is saying that even though we're giving these people $3,000 on a plane ticket, I don't know what a plane ticket to Somalia is or to China if someone came in illegally, but let's say it's net costing the taxpayer $4,000 or $5,000 with the plane ticket and everything else. I guess is the argument that costs the government less than deportation proceedings through the immigration courts and all of that kind of stuff?
A lot less, yeah. Because they have to be held, detained in facilities. So they've got to be fed, it's a huge process. Just for one individual. So according to DHS, much cheaper and much friendlier to U.S. taxpayers to allow a holiday incentive of a couple $1,000, $3,000, at least until midnight. Then it goes back to $1,000, and then the plane ticket, and no fines. to remove them. And the Trump administration has actually broken a record in terms of removals since January of this year. It reports an estimated 1.9 million voluntary self-deportations.
Wow.
Along with over 605,000 formal deportations. So that's going through DHS and ICE and detainment and things like that. So that's totaling over 2.5 million removals from the United States.
Yeah.
In just 11 months.
Yeah, I wonder if they're talking about maybe self-denaturalization with the first participant being Ilhan Omar. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, there's been talk about it. Who knows? It certainly is controversial, but for now, Kristi Noem, DHS secretary, is warning people to take the money, take the free trip home, with the opportunity to maybe come back and apply to be able to come back into the U.S. But if you're arrested, removed in intensified enforcement actions, you'll never be able to come back in.
Jeff Manasso from Fox News Radio joins us. Jeff, I got to ask you, as a professional journalist, and as you look at these, I mean, I saw 100 million views I heard on the various Nick Shirley videos. What does a professional journalist who's gone through the training and put in the boots on the ground, gumshoe work that you guys do? What do you think of the citizen journalist or the independent journalist, as they're referred to, that seem to be doing a fair amount of muckraking here? Are you generally satisfied with the rigor of their reporting, the accuracy of their, there are no children, for instance, in the Learning Center, Learning Center? Do you feel that they're fair competition? Are they an aid? Are they a hindrance? What's your general assessment of the independent journalist?
Yeah, there are a lot of national reporters and anchors out there that despise these people. I'm not one of them. I love them, and I think some of the fairest reporting you'll ever see is from independent journalists, because they actually do the work.
Okay, well that's good to hear.
Many national reporters do not, and or that are look, they take marching orders. I get it.
Yeah.
But this has been an ongoing story in Minneapolis. I worked there for a couple of years, and we've been covering similar stories, but they just never grabbed hold like Nick Shirley's did, and now it has, and people seem to be well onto this story, and so I say good on them.
Minneapolis tip of the iceberg.
That's what DHS says. That's what Nick Shirley says. That's what the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Minnesota says when he announced that about the half of the $18 billion spent in Medicaid money has been stolen. And so, I would say the tip of the iceberg.
All right. Hey, Jeff Manasso, thank you very much for being with us. We look forward to more of your reporting in the new year and talking to you, and all the best for you for a healthy and hearty 2026.
Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. All right. That's interesting. He says the national anchors, not so much. They're resentful.
Yeah,
but the guys like Jeff who are in it, and he knows about the Minneapolis situation, it's like, bring it on, baby. Yeah.
No, again, the idea here is that, and we've seen this attitude from several of quote-unquote big-time journalists. They think they are the arbiters of truth, and no one else can do it. And the democratization of journalism through various cases. Now, obviously, we see things that these citizens journalists step on their toes over.
Sure.
And there was the story in Colombia not that long ago where it was reported all online that there was a shooting involving a kid being shot. Well, it didn't happen. It was not true. It was an internet rumor that went all over the place. Well, sometimes it's good information, sometimes it isn't. You got to be very careful looking at it occasionally.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, just because it's on the internet and it's a proposed news source doesn't mean it's accurate. You need to. Ronald Reagan said, "Trust but verify," and I think that really goes into the naturalized, for lack of a better term, internet journalists.
Well, I'm really worried for this David and Nick Shirley up there in Minneapolis. I mean, David he lives in that community. And he's all over the internet, basically with his face showing and his body and everyone. I mean, I don't know. I think this guy better hire a security detail up there. I don't know. Generally
these small time guys with the YouTube channel, They don't have that side cash like Randy Tobler does for a security security team.
Hey, speaking of security, some bodily function security may be needed if you're going to Times Square. Are you going to Times Square tonight and going to wear your diaper,
you know what?
Pete?
When I lived there, I had 0.0 desire to do it. And the former spouse wanted to do both, the Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve. We went to the Thanksgiving thing. Okay. I just kept cajoling her.
For the parade.
For the parade. And we're there about an hour.
Yeah.
And she goes, this is the most miserable time I've ever had in my life. And even more miserable than being married to me.
Oh,
and so there you go.
That's miserable.
And that's awful. And
but is it true? Do you have to wear a diaper if you're going to go to the New Year's Eve thing in Times Square?
There's 1 million people there. There's not enough porta potties. There's not enough bathroom facilities. No, you don't want to do it. And I heard it
reported that people are actually willing to do that because they have to get there early to get in.
Oh yeah, they'll get in line and they'll put on the diaper. There are people who travel all over the world to go to Times Square for New Year's Eve.
I just don't know, man. I don't get it.
In my little world, there are things that sound like fun. That's not one of them. I'm trying to hold off getting back into the diapers. I've been out of them for a few years, and I want to wait till like the end.
No rush, huh?
That's right.
From dust you came, from dust you shall return. From diapers you wore, and diapers you will return.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot of fun to me. But, teach their own. If you want the idea of doing the whole diaper thing in your adulthood to stand around 1 million people who are drunk and rambling all night, good luck.
Yeah,
that's what they asked Peter. When he showed up at Times Square, and they said, "Hey, you gonna stick around for the whole event?" And he said, "Depends."
Oh, ba-dum-bum. Oh, is that the best you can do, John?
That's pretty much it.
Hey, now wait a minute. Here's an enticement. Mom Donnie's going to be inaugurated, going to be sworn in at office at midnight. You sure that can't encourage you to go and be in New York City tonight?
There you go.
New York City would be great.
Not Times Square.
Not Times Square.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different steak places that are great. There's a lot of stuff nowhere near Times Square, and I think that's a good idea.
All righty. Hey, well, let's check in and see what the markets are doing on the morning bell in just a few here on Wake Up Missouri.
It's Wake Up Missouri
Peter, what's it looking like?
Well, I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be a very modest final day of trading for a really successful year in 2025. If you were in the stock market at the beginning of the year, you probably have done fairly well, so that's great. I think 2026 is going to be fantastic. Also, this morning, crypto, Bitcoin is up less than about 0.5%. Ethereum is up a little over 1%. The Shiba Inu is down 28.
Oh, I was waiting for that one.
Sheepcoin. Oh, yeah. I own millions of shares of that.
How about the Trump coin? Is it still out there? No?
It's on the big one. It's on this big listing that they have.
No.
Other things going in is that apparently President Trump has narrowed his search for Fed Reserve chair. They've kept, there's not another cut to the interest rates, which is not necessarily all that good as part of the recovery that we have going on. There are not the inflationary, pressures that were on the economy, 12 months ago. I think it's time to free it up, open up the housing that's available. Lower interest rates create more construction opportunities. It's better for our home builders. It's better for people wanting to buy their first home. It is a great time to do this, but you can't do it with higher interest rates. The interest rates have to be cut.
Interestingly, though, the rates have been historically higher. I mean, our first home, I think it was 12.5%, 13%, and somehow we made it. But we didn't have the astronomically high prices to go with that. That's
there were houses being built. Right. There was enough things that were in the market. And right now, people are not building homes mainly because they look at inflationary pressures. They're looking at the interest rates, et cetera. That's what's going on. I look forward to a wonderful time of we get into 2026. I'm enjoying my investing. Now, there is a question for you, the investors. It has to do with are we in an AI bubble?
That's the question.
Yeah, and I certainly have
tech stocks that go along with it.
Correct.
Yes.
I have a reasonable exposure to some of the AI stocks. And that's been a concern I'm having. Okay, do you just buy and hold like a Warren Buffett thing? Or realizing now, it's about the highest it's going to get. Maybe I pull out, put that into something a little more conservative. And when that AI bubble bursts, buy back in, because ultimately it's going to produce very, very well. That's a discussion I think we all have to have.
If we look
that
at
what we saw in the numbers with AI and all, when we think back to the Trump tariff initial announcements and all, and everybody was gloom and doom.
Yeah.
And really the AI stocks falling away was pretty mild, really.
But, if we look at this year in sum, is it still true, or isn't it, that handful of tech stocks, right? Alphabet, Amazon,
NVIDIA,
Apple, those are the ones that have really driven the market at large, right?
Well,
is that going to continue?
The AI sector. Well, the belief is that they may be overvalued.
Yeah,
and that may be the case. I think as somebody who market times, they go out and the old school investment advice was just keep buying in and
dollar cost average.
Dollar cost averaging. NVIDIA may fall, but if you keep throwing in a couple $100 a month,
you'll buy low, you'll buy high,
and it'll all work out in the end.
Yeah.
And maybe that'll be the case, but I remember the .com bust when things were way overvalued.
Oh, you're so right. 573-874-9390. Next, we ask, what were your big stories of the last year and what's coming up next?
Has America been fair to Donald Trump?
we gave you a visa to come and study and get a degree, not to become a social activist that tears up our university campuses. And if we've given you a visa and then you decide to do that, we're going to take it away. I encourage every country to do that, by the way, because I think it's crazy to invite students into your country that are coming onto your campus and destabilizing it. We're just not going to have it. So we'll revoke your visa, and once your visa is revoked, you're illegally in the country and you have to leave. Every country in the world has a right to decide who comes in as a visitor and who doesn't. If you invite me into your home because you say, I want to come to your house for dinner, and I go to your house and I start putting mud on your couch and spray painting your kitchen, I bet you're going to kick me out.
Marco Rubio, I think, highlighting one of the themes of 25, which was new sheriff in town, tight borders, law and order in our cities, National Guard in D.C., fights over where they should be, if not, or not, in Chicago, in L.A., in Portland. That is a theme from 25. Peter, other big themes from the year.
The idea that, at least for now, the woke have been beaten down. That is one of my favorite themes.
Qualifier for now. Very
yes, I think that it will come back. In fact, there was an article yesterday or the day before in the New York Post talking about that the rise of woke will come back with a vengeance.
That's Peter Thiel in for Stephanie Bell, John Marsh alongside, as always, and Drake Whitman. I'm Randy Tobler. You're listening to Wake Up Missouri on this New Year's Eve edition. Your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, about the year that passed. What were the major themes? What were those definitional moments in what is always, if Trump's around, a tumultuous year? That's just the nature of Trump time. And what will be those moments, those themes for next year? 573-874-9390. If you'd like to call us, it's 800-529-5572. John, your theme of the year for this past year, 25.
Boy, it depends on if you're talking locally or statewide. On the statewide side, maybe on the nationwide side, the feasibility of the congressional maps, where that's all headed with the multiple suits still ahead of the Missouri cases. Then if you talk about central Missouri, one of the biggest ones that was all-encompassing for a lot of people was the Anthem MU Healthcare battle, debate, and finally coming to terms.
You're so right. I mean, those affected people's lives so critically in many, many cases. While there was a little bit of a grace period for people undergoing, acute high-level tertiary care, it really did upset a lot of folks' access to just basic care as well. Drake, what were the big stories for you in 25?
I mean, it's got to be Charlie Kirk, right?
Yeah, me too. Me too.
That's the story. Unless if you want to just count the Trump administration at all, because, I mean, that's just such a drastic change from what we've seen the past 4 years. This year, first year, we got 3 more, and it's
and Charlie Kirk really crystallized what is, I think, that large theme of political violence being normalized in America. I mean,
and being celebrated. That's that was the worst thing. Not saying that the death of Charlie Kirk wasn't horrific, because it was. What I was so shocked over is the people celebrating. Sometimes I had people that I had to unfollow because they were celebrating someone's murder.
Yes.
And that should never, ever be normalized, whether you agree with them or disagree with them. That's a real big deal to go and watch. Here, I do have one hope, is that, all right, we now have several states that are putting on a wealth tax.
Mm-hmm.
And where you have billionaires leaving because there may be a 5% tax on their assets if they continue to live in a particular state. California. Yes. Oh. Well, where's the press release from Mike Kehoe in Missouri saying, we welcome your businesses. We welcome, the doors of Missouri are wide open. We want you to come to Missouri. Great universities, great cities and towns. We want you to invest here. And you never hear Governor Kehoe, his predecessor, take advantage of these moments that you can make Missouri on top of the list of destinations for jobs and for an economic prosperous future.
So emulate what Texas and Tennessee and Florida do.
Correct.
It's like, come on in.
Yeah, we want you. Yes.
Yeah. I I think you're right, but it's going to that again makes me think about the economic argument. We talked about the budget battle that is going to be happening in Jefferson City. Look, we're a month away from another looming shutdown, and a big question I have is, will congressional Republicans have the cojones, the backbone, the grit to do what it takes to do some real serious cutting of government, cutting in healthcare regulations and costs for people, and politically take that risk, throw the Hail Mary, let the American people
Not
see
this
what
year.
I don't think it's going to happen.
No,
and it's a big mistake.
It should have happened this year. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes that happened during the government shutdown is that the Republicans should have been there working every day instead of taking the days off to finish the federal budget, which they did not do. Mm-hmm. They should have completed everything during that time, and just gotten all that. That's probably the biggest miscalculation of the Republicans in D.C. this year.
If historically the chips are against you, if you have a small majority, and you're likely to lose it, just looking historically, why not take that Hail Mary chance while you've got the majority, break the filibuster if you need to, and gamble that Americans will see the revelation. It will be an epiphany of what limited government really looks like, and the business soars, and wages go up, and commerce is raging, and people go, it's November 1st, and it's like, I cannot vote these people out of office. I want to see more of that. That's what I would do. I don't think they have the backbone to do it.
And let's be honest here, in the U.S. Congress, U.S. Senate, but also in Missouri's legislature, there's a lot of people there who talk a real good game.
That's why they're politicians.
And they talk a good game, and forever they will not deliver on things, and then they'll hit us with the line saying, you have to reelect us to get this done.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially in Missouri.
And on it goes.
That argument no longer works. There's such a majority. Fix it. Get it done.
Well, we're going to be talking to Senator Cindy O'Loughlin. I have a tentative booking for her on Tuesday. So hopefully we can get a little preview of what she has up her sleeve for her leadership in her final year in the Senate. So we'll be talking with her. Brian Hauswirth, your story of 25, locally, state, and nationally,
I think,
and your hope for 26.
Yeah, I just... just a quick follow-up on what Peter said, then I'll answer that question, but just very quickly, Peter is a very good point. You have brought it up, too. GOP supermajorities, record supermajorities, and quite frankly, very little has gotten done. Very little has gotten done.
Now, they would say we've had tax cuts.
And they have, but in terms of what they really have wanted to accomplish, no, they have not been able to get a lot of their accomplishments done. Part of that is the Democrats have blocked a lot of that.
And also select Republicans in the state Senate that have stood in the way of getting legislation done, saying they want all or nothing. And then the rule of politics is this. If you get all or nothing, you ask, it's going to be all or nothing, or I won't vote for it, or I'm going to stand in the way. You get nothing.
Yeah,
that's an interesting point, but we'll see what happens. But on that, in terms of the story of the year, I think I look at it from the lens primarily as the Eagle News director, although I do fill in for John on KWS and for Don quite a bit on KWTO. But in terms of more of a regional story, I think the airport in Columbia, I think, was huge. The three major announcements, we've never seen anything like that before. Allegiant, the Charlotte flight, and then the return of United. That is huge.
I told Eileen just yesterday, I said, I'm hearing more airplanes go over. I mean, here.
Yes.
And, we live in southeast Columbia, and I think, wow. Hearing a lot more planes above.
That's good.
It is good. It means more commerce. But terms of Springfield, and again, just I may be missing something, but just from a distance, I think the fact their first year in Conference USA, Missouri State, going to a bowl game and their coach gets picked up by Coastal Carolina is a big deal. But statewide, there's just so much. It's hard to pick one thing at the Capitol, but
one thing that pops into mind, Brian,
something stood out to me about what you're talking about, the various politics and stuff. When Ronald Reagan was president, what everybody forgets, the Democrats were in control of the U.S. House. Tip O'Neill was the speaker. But none of his stuff none of it would have gotten done had about 80 or 90 Democrats crossed the aisle. They called them the bull weevils, and they helped really pass a lot of Reagan's agenda. Can you imagine today?
That's not going to happen today.
But they would all be primaried.
They'd all be primaried by the AOC type stuff. Yeah, and totally correct. That's the thing. Now, I will say this about I have hope for the legislative session. The lieutenant governor brought it up to much chagrin by senators. But I think Cindy O'Loughlin and the gang realized the Senate rules are so restrictive that you can have a couple of people hold up actual change that gets passed in the House, and the rules have to be addressed. Now, those rules changes. Where are they? Are they still in discussion?
Yeah.
And how will this make sure that some knuckle dragging mouth breather like Mike Moon is going to be able to stop conservative change in the state?
You know what? I'm going to, Brian Hauswirth, I am going to bring up something that I think is going to be a as yet unheralded but major, major story in 2026. Okay. And you will love this.
Okay.
I think we will see the revival of religiosity, which got started in 25. I think that is going to continue. I think as young people especially, they are now attending church more than boomers, according to latest surveys. As young people realize...
It's really important for boomers to go there because, they're going to be knocking on St. Peter's gates pretty doggone quick. If there's somebody who's got to be going to church, it's the olds.
As young people realize that the salvation will not be found in their social media, in their TikTok, in their dispensary, in their whatever, and other people find that they're not going to find the salvation and that meaning and that purpose in any of those places or in politicians, whether they be in Jeff City, in Columbia, Springfield, you name it, it doesn't matter. I think they'll realize that they need to put their eyes heavenward and find where the real meaning and purpose is. I think that we will see that happen.
And we are seeing, I know in mid-Missouri for sure, more younger people, I think, going to church. I certainly have seen that.
Yep.
I can't speap for all churches, but at the churches I've seen, we definitely have seen
an American Pope.
Yeah, and that guy is going to lead, I think, a new revolution in the church. All right, well, we'll come back and wrap it up with Peter's favorite story about Jill Biden's ex-husband's wife, second cousin.
There's a dead person here, and it's Biden-related.
Peter loves those dead person stories. That coming up, and we wrap it up on the New Year's Eve Wake Up Missouri.
It's Wake Up Missouri.
Welcome back as we wrap it up on the New Year's Eve edition of Wake Up Missouri. Peter's in for Stephanie, John Marsh there, and Drake Whitman. I'm Randy Tobler. In a story that I find interesting, you pointed this out. You find these, I don't know where you find these stories, Peter. The things that interest you worry me, frankly, but we'll talk about that after the show.
Yes. Hey, you know, and if there's someone in this building that should be committed, it is probably me.
It is. Yeah.
Being fair, being honest.
You've heard what we're talking about you behind your back. Okay.
You know what? I don't care.
So the wife of Jill Biden's ex-husband is found dead after a possible domestic dispute. This is a lot of intrigue about the Bidens.
Yes.
The Bidens are always wrapped in intrigue.
Yeah, at least there, as far as we know, no cocaine is involved. And I think that's good.
Wow, this is crazy. Well, I mean, would you expect any less from a family that ultimately you've got Hunter Biden was hooked up with his dead brother's wife?
Yeah, well,
I mean, come on.
Yeah, you do.
How weird, man.
I will tell you, you go and you divorce your wife to take up with your dead brother's wife.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's and that's a little problematic. It really is.
So Linda Stevenson married Bill Stevenson about 40 years ago after his marriage to Jill Jacobs, now Jill Biden.
Correct.
Ended in divorce in 1975.
Because Jill Stevenson at the time was the babysitter for Joe Biden, and it's totally true.
Really?
And so she left her husband to go after a U.S. senator. And so she was putting a lot lot of people to sleep at night, laying them down, putting in jammies.
Yes,
and stuff.
So to speak, tucking them in.
Yes.
Now this woman's husband and Jill's ex, Bill Stevenson, was the owner of a Delaware hotspot, which Playboy magazine called one of the top 100 top college bars in America. It gets better all along.
Yeah, I like that.
My God.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, that's where we're at as people. This is where we're at.
Dr. Jill.
Yes.
Dr. Jill.
And by the way, I refuse to call PhDs doctor.
Well, they're doctors.
They have a doctorate. But they're not. I will refer to a dentist, to a medical doctor.
Yeah.
Now, I know people who are PhDs, and I may bust their chops and call them doctor and tease them a little bit. I just think when somebody has a PhD and they insist that you call them doctor, I find that really, really pretentious.
So, one of the things that goes around in the medical circles is that now that nurse practitioners are pretty much all doctor of nurse practitioners.
Yes.
The patients call them doctors. Doctors don't like them being called doctors.
No, I bet they don't.
So there's a lot of
so like the old battle between MDs and DOs, right?
Yeah, I think that's sort of gone by the wayside. I think that tension probably evaporated a generation ago.
And here's, again, the other problem that we have, and thank you, Obamacare, we have a shortage of doctors. Yeah. We also have universities in the United States, and a large portion of their doctoral students are foreign students who do not stay in the United States, go back to their home countries.
Yeah.
And we are not educating enough local American doctors.
Yep. You're going to see, this is going to be one of the things that's going to, Eric Burleson, we've talked with him about his health care reform bill. He wants to advance nurse practitioners to independent status and have more and more autonomy. Doctors, of course, are fighting that left and right. I think for good reason in one point, in that many doctors would say, especially newly trained nurse practitioners, they have not had to have the clinical experience just dealing with patients, and within a few short years, they're doctors doing what doctors are doing, and we feel as though in many cases,
there's such a shortage. This may be a necessity instead of practical.
There are great nurse practitioners on the other end. Hey, want to thank you for being with us this year. Hope you'll be with us on Friday Feel Good, and we'll see you then. Have a great New Year.